Okay, so the last little bit that we've done for this topic is simple interest. And remember, simple interest is a flat rate that you're charged or you earn, okay? So interest, you can either be charged if you're borrowing money. That's when the banks don't give you money for free, okay? They make you pay it back with a little bit extra on top of it. Or you could invest money in a bank account or something like that and be earning interest. So it goes both ways. Simple interest is just the standard flat rate. Next year you guys do compound interest, which is a bit more to do with bank accounts and things like that. But for now you just need to learn the basics, and that is using this formula here, which is I equals P times R times T. So basically that there gives you the interest, okay, because it is interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. Now there's two important things that you need to remember. The rate is always a decimal, okay? So the rate is always as a decimal. So if it's 5%, it's 0.05. So 5% equals 0.05. Maybe it's 19%, then it would be 0.19. Okay, you're just dividing by 100 to figure that out. The other thing is the time is always in years, okay? And it might not be given to you in years, but when we do the calculation with the formula, we do it in years, okay? So that's the most important thing to remember. The second formula here is to figure out the final amount, okay? So it gives you the interest. So for example, someone borrows, let's say, $2,000 and they were charged, say, $500 interest. It means that when they pay it back, they've got to pay $2,500 because the principal was $2,000, the interest was $500. So when they pay the final amount back, which is A, okay, so A is your final amount, that there means that you have to pay back the principal, what you started with, and the interest that you got charged. So I've done an example to calculate this. So we've got James invested $4,000 at 3.2% per annum for 3 years. The first question is, how much interest did he earn? So we need to highlight or underline some important things. $4,000, that's what he started with, so that's P. We've got 3.2% per annum, so that's the rate, and the 3 years must be the time. So I did suggest to you guys to do this down the side. That's just so you can work out what you have and what you need to find. So I'm just going to write here the rate as a decimal. Okay, so if you've forgotten how to do that, remember we just do divide by 100 because it's a percentage, which means we're dividing by 100. And the time is already in years. So when we actually do our calculation, we do 4,000 times 0.032 times 3, all on one line. I've just run out of room. And then we can calculate that. And you should get $384. Okay, so he earned $384 in the 3 years. So then part B, how much does he have now? So that is, well, A, which would be the principal, which is 4,000, plus the 384. So he has $4,384 in his account now. Okay, and then sometimes we're asked to work backwards. So you might be given the interest or you're told the final amount, and you need to figure out either how much they started with, the rate that they were charged, or the time. And we use one of these three formulas depending on what we're trying to find. You can see they're pretty much all the same. We start with the interest and we divide it by the other two multiplied together. You'll notice that I do have brackets in here. Okay, it is important that when you put these into your calculator that you put the brackets in, because if you don't, you won't get the right answer. All right, so we'll do a couple of examples of this now. Okay, so we've got this question here. Caitlin earned $630 over 5 years at 6% per annum. How much did she invest? So we need to underline some important things. She earned $630. So if you've earned something, that's your interest. Time, 5 years, and rate, 6%. the rate and the time are quite obvious, okay? Usually it tells you the time period and usually got a percent sign after the rate, so they're easy to identify. It's just the interest and the principal, okay? So you always got to remember the principal is the starting amount. So how much did she invest? So we need to know how much did she invest. We're trying to find P. So if we're trying to find P, we look at our formulas at the top there. If we need to find P, we're obviously going to use this one here, where it's P equals. So again, I would write down the page. We've got I is 630. P we don't know. R is 0.06. And T is 5 years. So then I put it into the formula. So we've got 630 over 0.06 times 5. And if you put that into your calculator correctly, you should get $2,100. Okay, so then you would just answer, Caitlin invested $2,100. Okay, so our second example, after investing $3,500 for 6 months, Steph had $3,666.25 in her account. What was her interest rate? Okay, so this one's a little bit different because you're told a starting amount, so I'll just underline that. We've got a starting amount, which is P. So she invested $3,500. We also have a time period, okay? The time period there is 6 months, all right? So we know that that's time. Even though it's not in years, we can deal with that later. We're then told that she has $3,666.25 at the end. So that's not the interest. That's how much she has in her account now. So this that I've underlined here is actually A. Now we are asked to find the rate. Okay, what was the interest rate? So we need to find R. So if we go back a page, you'll see it's this formula here. So we're doing R equals I divided by P times T. Okay, so I'll just get rid of that now. So if we're using that formula, we actually need to find the interest first. So using the formula from the first page, A equals P plus I. To find I, we just do what she ended with, take away what she started with. So I is equal to 3666.25, take 3,500. Okay, and that gives you $166.25. So the interest is there. We know the principal, which is 3,500. We don't know the rate. And the time is 6 months. So we can put it in as 6 divided by 12 or 0.5 because we know that one. We know that 6 months is half a year. So we need to do our formula now, which is the interest, 166.25 divided by 3,500 multiplied by 0.5. Now again, if you put that into your calculator correctly, you should end up with 0.095. Now remember, when we put the rate into these formulas, they're as a decimal. They're not a percentage. So we can't leave our answer like that because when it's asking for an interest rate, it is asking for a percentage per annum. So we need to just multiply by 100 to give us 9.5%. Okay, so you can say Steph's rate was 9.5% per annum. Okay, I hope that helped. I haven't done an example of time, but it's just the same as those last two that I've done, just using the different formula. So you'll just be using this third formula here instead. But just a recap of what we've done on simple interest. So remember, we've got these two formulas for when we're finding interest and the final amount. And then we have the three formulas here for when we have to work backwards. All right, so good luck with your assignment. Remember to come and ask me for help if you need anything.